Tell me when we're live.
And we're live.
All right. Super fabulous expialidocious. Hello, it's Magical Monday, and here we are live in So Hungry Hippie Headquarters Studios. And we're going to be making a stocking today after I go through a little bit of question and answers and news. So here's half of the stocking. We're doing it the easy way. I just drew this shape, no joke. I drew this about 20 minutes ago. This is poster board. If you need my stocking shape, I can try to draw it in Illustrator today and upload it as a file. But I'm only going to share it for free with people who are subscribed to my email or in the makers group on Facebook. So how about that? Here's the lining portion. As you can see, I've quilted some of it, not all of it yet. And I'm using some soft vinyl in lavender that complements this fabric. This is the Holy Night bundle. We have a few bundles left. It's a 4-yard bundle. And you could probably make 10 stockings with the 4-yard bundle. But I'm going to show you how I am doing it. Real quick, a few issues occurred over the weekend with the Black Friday sale, which ends tonight at midnight, by the way. We've had hundreds of orders go through flawlessly with no problem. No matter the coupon codes, VIP or not, free shipping, etc., etc. So if you just do the steps that I talk about, where if you're VIP, you enter your VIP, hit apply, wait for the second coupon box to load, and then enter VIP BF for your free shipping, it will work. It will work. We tested it 25 times, and we've had hundreds of orders come through with no problem at all. On that note, you have to be logged in if you're a VIP member. And what else was I going to say? If there's any problems, if you can't get this to work, please understand I will come in after the fact and refund you or give you store credit with an email. Just email me, hey, my free shipping didn't apply. I'm a VIP member. I logged in. I used the codes, whatever you want to say, and I will refund you. I've already done it a few times. But what I request is a little patience and a little kindness. We've got thousands of orders to get out this week. So please know, we are not Amazon. We are not Walmart. On purpose. We're a small business, family run, family owned. Our staff is family. You know, to me, they're our choice family. So please know we are real people on the other side of this, and when you come out guns blazing, you won't get what you want. So it just doesn't work for anyone. Okay, there's that. I do have a bundle for a matchup request, Ramel. It's right on that ironing board. I'm sorry, I ran out of time to grab it.
Sorry. You want to tell them about what happens if you are over the free shipping?
Yes. Also, just to clear any misconceptions up, if your subtotal is over $125, whether you're VIP or not, it is free shipping, so you don't have to enter a code. So if you see that your subtotal is over $125, no free shipping code is needed. It automatically applies free shipping. If you're over $100, I have $7.95 automatic shipping if you choose that. Now, that gives me the license to ship however I want. Just a quick caveat. So if you need it rushed, there's a rush upcharge you can pay, and we'll get it out within 24 hours. If you need, if you need a specific service, then that doesn't apply to the $7.95 flat rate. Oh, Tori. What's the matter with you? You got my sewing cord in your tail. All right, go lay in your bed. So just some quick, what do we say? What is that? Reminders, I guess? And also, one more thing about customer service. We have people on our customer service app all the time, and they do a really great job. But I think going forward, we need to take Sundays off so everyone can have some mental peace. So if you email in on Saturday night or Sunday, please give us some time to answer you, please. Please. I lived on my customer service app this weekend, which wasn't fun at all, okay? I'm willing to do it. It's my business, my baby, but that's not ideal. So just know, we're not robots. We can't go 24 hours a day. So give us a little bit of cushioning to answer your customer service requests, okay? Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, somebody emailed in and wanted to see this fabric with a vinyl. Going forward, if you have match-up requests that are specific, please email them in and I'll show on the Wednesday night show, rather than emailing back and forth 100 times with everything. That would be ideal. That's why we have a match-up show. So here is the Maeve bundle with the snails and mushrooms. I prefer it with the eggshell moonglow. I think it's really nice. It's an off-white, it's warm, and it looks fabulous with the fabrics. If you don't like off-white, the pomegranate also works really well. And those are the two that I would use with the Maeve bundle per request, okay? All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into it. All right, so I am using the Holy Night bundle like I just said, and I just want you to know that you do not have to do exactly the way I'm doing, but I'm showing you a method that is fast, easy, and it looks good at the end, okay? So for the strips, if we go overhead, Ramel, I just want to show them that you can cut your strips any old width you want. They don't all have to be the same. You can go between wide and skinny or whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. It's your choice. So for this demo, I am cutting some fabric up. I like the owls to show, but I want them to be sort of staggered. And you know what else? I need to take my stocking piece and make sure that I'm cutting the strips plenty wide. So I'm going to cut some strip here, here. I'm going to move these out of the way. So now I've got a base for how long my strips need to be. And I'm going to grab my other fabric. And this is with the fabric right now. I'm going to just take like this. I love these colorful buildings. I'm just going to cut some strips for the moment. We do this outer piece and lining piece all at one time, so there's no turning the stocking inside out and all that stuff. It's just done all in one piece. Let's hope it works out, because this is fly by the seat of my pants day, okay? All right, here we go. And we're going to do the cuff in soft vinyl. So that's quite, I think I like it though. Maybe I'll cut this down a touch. Just kind of free flow sewing here. There's some strips. Let's do some purple in here.
What I was going to say is nice to visualize it right there and there as you're piecing it together, so you have the pieces exactly where you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not high stress because you just kind of come in here and whack away as you please, and it works out. Okay, here's so far, and I just kind of build as I go. I sew some strips together. I see where I'm at. If I want to unpick anything and move things around, I can, but I know me. I know that it'll be fine. Just trust yourself. That's probably the biggest thing, is confidence in sewing. Confidence comes from practice, and confidence comes from not beating yourself up when things are not perfect. Because most of the time, other people will not notice your mistakes if you don't point them out. I'm going to go ahead and sew this with my trusty Gutermann thread. I'm just using my foot for a seam allowance. We're not gonna backstitch double, you know what I'm saying. We're not gonna backstitch right now because it's gonna get sewn again later. So we're just gonna sew away, and we'll come in and we will iron our pieces all at one time, flattening the seams, flattening everything out. Ramel's gonna show himself, right? You're gonna be in the corner there, Ramel, so we can hear you?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Huh?
I'm not sure. It's Magical Monday.
Here's 3. You can move the camera around too, Ramel, so that I don't have to do everything with the pedals. Like front view, just to add some interest, so it's not just staring at a machine the whole time.
Well,
Capiche?
I kind of get mesmerized by the machine camera.
We don't need to hypnotize anyone, though.
Well, I am.
Can you imagine? I think that's what was happening to me yesterday with, where were we? We had to go to the hospital yesterday because Ramel hurt his eye. And we were in the waiting room, and I was reading my book because I take a book everywhere. I finished Bright Young Women, by the way. Very good, very good. So now I'm on to a thriller by J.D. Robb, and I took it to Menards when we had to go to Menards to pick up materials, and then I took it to the hospital when we were in the ER for Ramel. He's looking good now. He got taken care of. But I almost fell asleep because it was so warm and quiet. And, and I was reading. I'm like, oh, I could just take a nap. Even though I'm anti-nap.
Yeah, that was
Huh?
on scene. Never before seen something about you taking a nap. It's like never
I
catch
never
you.
take naps. I despise them. I know a lot of people love them, but I feel like I'm wasting time. Go to the machine, will you? I can't be doing everything, homie. You gotta help me out today. All right. And now I've got this much pieced. Let's throw in a piece at the bottom. I'm just going to take some soft vinyl and cut a section. Why not? Let's just add it at the bottom. Then maybe we have enough to cut out our shape. I can't see comments on this screen that I'm using today, so Ramel will intercept. If you've got questions, please ask. Magical Monday is meant to be just kind of a free sew. Yes, you can use pins with this vinyl. Let's see. Where was I headed? I don't know. I'm going to add this. I'm using Gutermann thread, a 3mm stitch. Sounds like maybe my machine could use some oil.
I'm on it.
No, I didn't see anything yet. Did you see Pug Breed 1? Yes, I did, Patty. Vito. He's so cute. I keep watching those clips. Tori said she's over it. She's better than that. Just kidding. But I did show her Vito, and she just snorted. Okay, so let me bring my ironing mat up here on the table. And you can see how I'm going to iron these strips. I think I'm either long enough for the stocking now or almost. So let me just... What's wrong? Oh, is she? Yeah, I'm long enough. It'll fit. So what I'm going to do is iron these seams. Now, yes, you can iron this, but not directly to the soft vinyl. So usually I have a Teflon mat back here to iron, but I don't right now, so I'm just going to put some fabric on top of it. to protect it. That seam is flat now. And I just push all my seams. If I push up, then I push up for the rest. I'm going to have them all going the same direction. I'm not a fan of opening seams and sewing them flat. To me, it compromises the integrity of the seam more than pressing the seam to one side. It's important to open seams in some quilting patterns for sure. For sure, it just depends on what you're doing. But for this project, I'm just going to sew them up or press them up or all down, whichever. Nice and flat, looking cute. All right, let me move this out of the way. So now I'm gonna decide what is the lining side for this side of the stocking. So I used the teal fabric for this side of the lining. I wonder if I have enough. Yes, I do. Make sure if it's directional, you're cutting it the right direction of the stocking. Not that I've ever done that. And we're gonna put some foam down as well. I'm using By Any Soft and Stable foam. I like it because it gives the stocking, I'm gonna say firmacity. I know that's not a word. I know, but I like it. What? Okay, well, just a sec. Let me finish my sentence. So, what is the name of the bundle again? Oh, it's Holy Night, Norma. It's so pretty. It's Christmassy, but untraditional colors, which is why I really love it. I feel like you could just have it going all year, you know? Let's see. What was I saying? I like the soft and stable because then your stocking has support, and when presents go in, it doesn't droop and go like this. It stays in the stocking shape, and then depending on how tightly you quilt it will depend on how stiff it is. So if you don't want it very stiff, then don't quilt it very often. Just quilt in the ditch, stitch in the ditch, or sink stitch. Otherwise, you can do a bunch of lines and then it'll be really, really stiff. So it's whatever floats your boat. Okay, huh? Yeah, can you just, stay on task because I don't know that my brain can do it today.
Look at that foot.
Thank you. So here's my stocking shape that I freehand drew, and we're just gonna place this. We gotta flip this one. Good thing I didn't forget that. See how this one is this shape? So when you're doing the mirror, you gotta mirror it and turn it over so that we can sew the stocking right sides together. So make sure, 1, you cut like this, and number 2, you cut like this. There we are. I'm gonna put down some pattern weights, Zen blocks, and then I'm gonna cut out the shape. You know what? I'm gonna rough cut it so that I can quilt it with lots of room. I'm just going to give myself lots of room here. Move it up a bit. Oops. That way I don't have all this fabric pulling on me as I'm quilting it. All right, let's cut this curve. There's that. Pull it back down a bit. I should grab my 60mm rotary cutter. I always do that. I always grab the wrong one. Oh, I gotta switch the blade, Ramel, because it's too dull at the moment.
Yeah, but that thing still cut my finger off.
Yeah, it
Dull.
can. Got to be paying attention when you're using these tools for sure. Okay, so let's go back overhead for a sec.
Overhead the entire time.
Oh, I mean front forward. Front forward. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I don't just start quilting, because if you do that, which if you're a pro, go right ahead. But I use spray adhesive, and that is to hold all the layers in place so that nothing puckers or wrinkles on me or acts like a little brat, because that has happened so many times to me and I do not have time for that. So I use the tools that help me, and one of them is this. Now, if we go back overhead, I'll show you how I apply this. Ramel, that was your cue. I see you in La La Land.
It wasn't.
Yes, you were. You were pulling at your beard. This is how I do it. You know, I'm just teasing Ramel. We have a very good relationship. We've been together for 20-some years. We know each other's quirks. So nobody get uptight or mad. I treat him very well, and he treats me very well.
That's why we're covering the eye incident like it was an accident.
The eye? That was all you, homie. That was nothing to do with me. Don't even. Don't even. Okay, so this one, I'm going to pull back the top layer now. This is not going everywhere. I don't know why people are like, oh my God, you have to go outside. No, you don't. You just have to pay attention to where you're spraying and how much you're doing. I'm not going crazy. I'm just spraying these little areas. Nothing gets on my cutting board. I'm not over here. I'm not down here. I'm on the stocking. I know somebody's going to email me trying to educate my techniques. Happens every time. That's okay. All right, here's the inside. Here's the outside. I'm going to clean this curve up a little bit. Now, it's cut very large compared to my end shape. You see this? Because I want the room for quilting. This is my comfort. This is how I do it. It works for me. So this is what I do. Okay, now we're ready to quilt. I'm going to turn my stitch length up to 4. I'm going to quilt all in the same direction. You'll see me take it out every time and go in the same direction. That's what works for me. I don't like quilting and turning and then going the other way, because what tends to happen when you have layers is they want to shift and pull. And even though most of the time it works out when I've done it, the few times it didn't really made me mad. So I figure take the extra time to do the steps right, and then no need for getting mad, right? So what I'm going to do on this one so far, I'm going to start at these seams and quilt in the ditch on those first, and then I work my way out. I always start in the middle, kind of like a quilt. So what I'll do is kind of push this in so that it fits into the throat of my machine with no worries. We don't have to backstitch because we're going to be sewing these seams again. Now don't worry. You can put on your quilting foot or your walking foot if you would like to. I have on my regular foot because I want to show you that it works this way if you don't have a walking foot. See, I'm taking it out. I'm not worried about my lines. I just watch where I'm sewing. I don't watch the needle. I watch where I'm going to sew and where I am sewing. I don't push it. I don't pull it. Come out, take it out, and now I'm going to work down this way. You can sew in the ditch, or you can sew right to the side of it. You can do whatever you want. We're just establishing some quilting lines right now to hold the layers in place. And then I go back and quilt however I want to. Now, if you want to free motion the whole thing, go right ahead. I could have done that, I guess, but I didn't think of it till just now. Oh, oops, I turned on my bright light. Now I'm going to come up here. And sometimes you just kind of smooth it. That one I went kind of wonky, but who cares? It's going to be fine. Okay, now I'm going to do the top edge here. Actually, I don't have to do the top edge because I'm still going to sew on the cuff part. But I will, just to make me feel good. Okay, so now, if we come over here, you can keep quilting this. You can keep quilting it however you want. If you can see here, in some areas I quilted really heavy and then others I didn't because, I don't know how white quilting everywhere would be. Plus I ran out of time if I'm being really honest. But let's take this back overhead. It's now, you know what, I'm going to sew that bottom edge. Okay, let's go back to the center. Overhead, we can put our shape. Yeah. Let's do it like this. I do want some of this purple to show down here, so I'm going to bring it down. Do we have any more questions, Ramel, right now? Do I need to? Huh? I do? Okay. Bring it. Oh, I can't do it like this, huh? Okay, just a second then. Here we are. Going around the pattern piece. And again, if you need me to upload this pattern piece, I can after the show, or you can just draw your own like I did. I know how my stocking was as a kid. It wasn't tiny. It was like nice and wide. And that allows for presents to actually go inside.
That looks like an orthopedic boot cast.
Oh, thanks, Ramel.
Yeah. Got to think it all medical, you know.
You what?
Got to think all medical, you know.
Oh, okay. So now I can do the cuff portion. I'll show you that in a second. Bring the questions up, Ramel, please. You are so full of energy. How many cups of coffee have you had today? Zena! I live on coffee. I just love it. I love it so much. It's one of those things that sometimes I think about, 200 years ago where people, or maybe even 100, what's 100 years ago? 1924. They probably had chicory coffee or something. I'm just so thankful for it. Kind of like hot baths and hot showers.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm so thankful for it. The creature comforts we have now, that for millennia humans didn't have. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy.
I don't think everybody had it, not even 50 years ago.
Well, 50 years ago was not that long, sir. You're almost 50, of course.
Oh, shoot. That's right. All right, 70. 70. All right, it says 70.
Okay, so what I'm doing right now, because I didn't measure, is I'm measuring this cuff. It is, let's see here. I'm measuring my cuff. Let's see, 1, 2, 2 1/4. So I'm going to double that because it's double-sided.
Let me see that.
What?
Where are you trying to...
Oh, Ramel, you don't need to get in that much. I'm going to cut a 5-inch cuff because I got to allow for seam allowance. So what I'm talking about here, you don't want a floppy cuff. So we got to put foam in the cuff as well. Let's cut a strip, 5 inches, this way, 5 inches, because we're folding it in half like this when we sew it to the stocking. let me move this out of the way. Let me grab a piece of foam. We only have to cut the foam 2 inches, so we keep it out of the seam allowance. So I'm going to cut 2 inches. There we are. So then I'm going to take my trusty 505 spray. Did I say 504 earlier? It's 505. I always do that. I'm going to put it up flush with that fold and keep that bottom edge free so that it's out of the seam allowance when I sew it to the stocking. Capiche? See how there's a bump here? Keeps the foam out of my seam allowance. Well, it's hard to see how it's, this right here is our seam allowance. So even if you have a machine that doesn't like layers, you can still do this. Just going to spray it down. There we go. Man, Ramel, I should have got that coffee pot going. Zena made me craving it again.
No, I'm thinking about it too.
Are you really?
Yeah. I need a pick-me-upper now.
A pick-me-upper? We're not going to Starbucks. We're brewing it here. Yeah.
We don't have regular milk. We just have your
Coconut milk.
Fufu
Well,
milk.
non-dairy is good for you once in a while.
I call it fufu milk.
You call it fufu milk?
Yep.
Okay, so if you want to quilt it, you can do it now or after, up to you. Soft and stable. Yeah, anything will work. I mean, you don't have to use this brand. I just stick, I'm pretty brand loyal when I know that something works, and so I stick with it, that's all. And we have it in the shop, by the way, if we're not out. Okay, let's attach this to the top. Can you, oh, you did. Wow.
You told me to pay attention.
Yeah, you are paying attention today. Hallelujah.
It's almost like I'm reading your brain.
Huh?
It's almost like I'm reading your brain waves.
That's good. Me and my mom have telepathy. I mean, it's pretty crazy. She'll be thinking a thought, and then I'll say the things, and she'll say, I was literally just thinking that. I think sometimes we do that. Sometimes. So now can you go to the machine? So now I'm going to turn back my stitch to 3 millimeters, and I'm attaching the cuff so the raw edge meets the raw edge, and we're sewing it down. There it is. Now I'm going to fold it up, and see that seam in the back? I'm going to turn it, smash it down, and sew it down so that nothing is poking out and looking crazy on this side. I probably should have trimmed that a little better, but hey ho, it's all good. And now if I want to quilt it, which I will because I'm going to turn it back up to 4 millimeters and quilt it so it's somewhat like the other one. I'm just using my foot for the width, basically. Not getting too technical about it or anything. Oops.
Well, you can use any can you do zigzags?
You could do whatever you want. Yeah, you could quilt diamonds, you could do zigzags, you could quilt your name with free motion. You could embroider this. Our soft vinyl embroiders really nicely. Sky's the limit.
You can even applique it too,
I can't
right?
hear you. Your voice is so low.
You can applique it too, right?
Yes, you can applique it. You could be one of those singers that is a vocalist for like the Norse Atlantic Ocean. Ooh, you know, when they're on the ships and it's stormy seas and they're singing and it's like really low.
I do have a really low voice.
You do. What is that, baritone? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Baritone. So now I'm just gonna even up the edges here, slice that off. Do you want to go overhead for me? I hope this works. I think it's gonna be fabulous. Oops, that one didn't want to cut it. Here we go. Okay. So now I've got a completed inside, a completed outside. We're ready to form the stocking. However, before we sew this together, right sides together, we want to put in a little doohickey to hang it up. Where'd mine go? I had one made here. Here it is. So all I did is kind of like, what's it called? Binding. So let me show you. I took a strip. I probably could have made it longer than this. This one is 7 inches long, but oh yeah. So 7 inches long, and I would cut it 3 inches wide, and we're folding to the middle, and then again like this, and then sew down this edge to close it, and then sew down this edge to make it uniform, and this is what you have. Everybody clear? Everybody good on that? And then I would just fold it in half, figure out where you want it to stick out from. I think there's good, probably around here where it meets the cuff. And I stagger it a little bit. I don't put all those layers on top of each other. I stagger it like this. Do a clip or two. And I'm going to go sew this to this side first. I feel like I've just been yapping today. Have I been yapping?
No, you haven't.
Huh?
No.
You don't think?
No.
I guess I'm quiet so much at work that when I have to talk, I just feel yappy. Okay, let's go back to the thingy. All right, here we are. So there's one side. Now remember, I can quilt more if I wanted to. Just like this piece. I could quilt this all out so it's very structured, but you don't have to. Now the piece I do want you to match though is this. See these cuffs? You want these seams to match. We can always finagle everything else, but this you want to match. What you smiling about, Ramel? What? What? Ramel could read calm, sleepy stories. He really could, Patty. Oh my gosh, Ramel, we should open you an OnlyFans for for reading things.
If that could only work on you, because you don't fall asleep when I'm talking to you. Or do you want me to read
It's
your
because I'm
story?
paying attention to what you're saying to me.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't fall asleep.
Thanks, Patty.
Huh?
I said thanks, Patty.
Oh. Let's see, let's clip all around these edges. If you have a serger, you can serge this and lickety-split, you're done. If you don't have a serger, don't feel less than. It's okay, I'm not going to serge mine. I'll show you what I do. Oh, I made this one a little bit skinnier. Okay, that's all right. We're just going to take a bigger seam allowance on this side. See what I did? Okay, didn't cut as precisely, I guess. I do that all the time. Where I'm yakking away or whatever. The curve, you can see I have some extra on this side. That's okay, I'm gonna trim that up later. I will be checking both sides to make sure I haven't curled any fabric back inadvertently. I'm going to use a bigger jumbo clip here. Okay, so now the whole thing is good. Oops, see, this is what I mean. See what I did here? And couldn't see it because it was on the other side. That's why we check. And I'll check that for the other side now. Okay, good. So now what we're gonna do is you just sew all the way around. It is right sides together. So right now we're looking at the lining on both sides, okay? We're just gonna sew this baby down. Might need to move things out of your way. Let's back stitch here. And I'm at a 3mm stitch. If you need to whack any of your seams so that they are even flatter, go ahead. If you want to put on a walking foot, go ahead. I know this is a little bit of layering here. But it can be done. Don't worry if you sew in any puckers on this portion. Don't freak out. It'll be in the seam. Nobody's going to see it. And we're going to be pinking this. And sometimes puckers or wrinkles, they can be ironed out as well. It just depends. But again, if you have a walking foot or a rolling foot, put it on. Put it on. I don't know where mine's at. Around here somewhere. We're going to back stitch up here a few times. All sewn. All right. Bring them. I think it would be. I thought about doing a French seam, Kathy. I think you can do it. What I would say and suggest is just keep the foam out of the French seam allowance. But yes, it can totally be done. Totally. Oh, let's see it. Have you ever used headliner foam backing in place of soft and stable? I have years ago, and it was fine. I know that Vanessa at Crafty Gemini uses headliner, I think. Or does she use the B, Boltex or Basel? I think she uses Basel. But headliner foam will work. It's just that I think Annie invented or modified headliner to be a little more sewist friendly, if you will. I should ask her about that. I'm pretty sure that's what she said before. So use whatever you've got. You could also use fusible fleece for this project. It just won't be as stand-up-y. It'll be more slouchy, but it's fine. Fill it with stuff. Okay, so now if you want to be extra credit, you come in here on these edges and you pink all around. Or you can serge, like I said. Or you can hit it with fray check or fray block or whatever you want. Remember, stockings aren't used very much. You're probably never going to wash this stocking. So the edges are really not going to fray that much, okay, if we're being real. So if it were me, I'd probably say, don't have time for that. I'm going to go eat a taco instead. But let me get these curves at least. The curve you kind of do want to pink so that it pops nice. Pinking shears are my cheater method to make curves pop because then I'm not notching a bunch. I'm just cutting it with notches in the sheer. Train, isn't that nice? Feels like Polar Express.
Yeah.
We can hear a train going by right now. I'm going to do this little curve here.
Somebody's asking a question.
What is a French seam? Oh, it's where you sew wrong sides together first, like a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and then you turn it and sew right sides together with a bigger seam allowance, and it encloses the raw edges. It's not hard. There's lots of tutorials on French seams, and you can totally do it with this project, but your beginning pattern piece needs to allow for that much seam allowance, or it'll be much smaller than you expect. A lot of clothing patterns use French seams. Do you find that stiffer, I think you meant stiffer and harder to cut than their regular scissors? Well, pinking shears in general have more friction and are tighter. So I think maybe that's what you mean. Yes, it takes a little bit more strength, but I don't find mine are super stiff. You can always loosen this screw if you want to, but I don't recommend it because then they might become too loosey-goosey. Or you could put a dollop of cooking oil in there, and it's easier. I know what you mean. You got to get those grip things, Terry, on those, and sit there watching Netflix and do those grip things. I look like I'm milking a cow. What are those grippy things, like at the gym? What? I'm in Dairyland. It's appropriate.
It's a little
Are they called
forearm workout thing.
Yeah, I always hate doing forearm crap. I don't want man forearms.
You don't have to. It's not. You're not gonna grow.
I wouldn't mind some veins popping out, like being muscly, but I don't want to look like man hands or something.
They're not gonna pop out of nowhere.
Can you imagine?
You're not gonna be Popeye.
We should do a video where I'm sewing and like at the camera, and then you come in and do the sewing with your man hands, and we act like you're not there, you know, and it's just me. People would be like, well, dang, girl's got some sausage fingers.
Need to shave those arms.
Shave those arms. Those are some wrench gripping hands. I'm cracking myself up. I'm probably the only one. Okay, so now I'm just pushing out all the seams. If we want to go overhead, I'm just running my thumb in here. Put some fervor into it. There we are. There we are. Boom! She is done. Oh my gosh. She's so pretty, and so many presents can fit in there, Ramel. I don't like diamonds, but I'll take sewing supplies. Sewing supplies, crayons, colored pencils, paints, fabric dye. I'm just giving you some ideas, you know.
In books.
Food
Don't
for
forget
thought.
about books.
Books, always books. Thrift books, half-price books. I still have to get the Stephen King 11-something-23, the day Kennedy died. I have to get that book still.
I'll just get you a gift card to Goodwill.
Goodwill or St. Vinny's? St. Vinny's is best. St. Vinny's has higher quality stuff. And I know, because I'm a thrifty person. There it is. Isn't that cute? What do you think? Well, it looks dark and cavernous in there. But it's actually not. It's that pretty teal fabric. Okay, well, I don't see any comments, but I think it's great.
They're saying it's cute.
And let me know if you want this shape to download. You'd have to tile it, meaning if you're printing on a home printer, this would probably be 3 sheets of paper. So, or you can just do it. I literally just went like this. So, you know, you can do it. Have some confidence. It's okay. This is far from perfect shape, but hey, it kind of looks like a boot, a leg boot when you
That's
break
what
your
I was
ankle.
saying. That's what I said, an orthopedic boot.
I wonder if it would fit me. Ooh, it can double as a warmer boot.
Yeah, just fill it in with, what is that? Cuddle? Is it
Minky?
Minky? Yes.
Let me try to do a kick. Oh, can't hold it though. All right, well, there you go. There's Magical Monday. I want to see yours. Post it in the group or what have you. Okay, what else we got? Oh, did you grab the, I already did that. I already showed that matchup, right? Okay, and the other thing I wanted to mention is I washed these. These are the linens from Art Gallery. I washed them in my home sewing machine, dried them on high heat. I will be making something garmenty with these, and we don't have a whole lot left. I think there might be 2 bolts or something. If you want any, I'm going to be using this. It softens way up. This is so soft. That's what I love about linen is the more you wash it, the softer it gets. But this is just one wash and dry, and it is scrumptious. So, how about that? Next tutorial is going to be the Greta cape, and we've got more patterns coming in. So don't forget to hit notify me if you need a pattern. Greta cape with the Shannon Cuddle. Get your cuddle. Let's do this. Let's be glamified for the holiday season, right? Even if you're not going anywhere, we can wear our Greta capes while we watch a Netflix and sip cocoa. No excuses. All right, I gotta go work. We've got a million orders to get out. Peace, love, sewing.